Beetlejuice? Beetlejuice?
It's showtime.
Welcome to Source Not Found, a show about the worst versions of your favorite things. Every other week, we explore an IP, franchise, or fandom by way of its sequels, spin-offs, and side projects. Basically anything but the source material. I'm Brando. Podcast come and me one go host.
And I'm Bo Woodall, and I have not read Crime and Punishment 3 times, but I've read so many books about dragons. And this week, for Halloween, we are covering Beetlejuice. And we wanted to do something really special, so I wanted to get my favorite podcaster, and honestly, maybe the coolest person I'm aware of. You'll recognize his dulcet tones from podcasts like Hello from the Magic Tavern, Hey Riddle Riddle, and The Word Association. Improv comedy extraordinaire, Adal Rifai. Adal, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you.
It's showtime.
Perfection.
What a kind intro. You just made me realize I truly have never thought about this or put this together. The two of my podcasts start with either hey or hello.
You're
Some sort of greeting, yeah.
You're a very welcoming person. It's just, you know, that's what it is. It's a welcoming presence to all of the podcasts.
Very, yes, a very Midwest names of podcasts. I'll try and keep that. If I do any more podcasts, I'll try and keep that in mind of like any sort of hi or like, are you mad at me? Or like, are we okay? and then the title.
I was going to say, is the next one just going to be like, sorry, it's a podcast?
Yeah. A podcast.
Going to move right past you there.
We're halfway to Steve Zahn and Sahara. Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
No, we're not doing that. But Adal, thank you so much for joining us for this Halloween Beetlejuice episode. I kind of want to just start off by asking you, how do you feel about the juice?
Boy, oh boy. This is hands down my favorite movie of all time. I remember seeing at a young age, in the same week, I believe, I saw Beetlejuice, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Coming to America. And all three of those would turn out to be my top three favorite films. Just like cracked my brain wide open. And I had also seen somewhat recently, or maybe it was after, I can't remember which came first. I had seen Batman. And when my mom tried to explain to me that the same guy who played Beetlejuice was Batman, I was, I don't know, 6 or 7 or something, but I like threw a fit where I was like, stop lying to me. What are you talking about? So I definitely appreciate the range of Michael Keaton. Like, I think Michael Keaton should have several Oscars. I think he won maybe for Birdman, but I just feel like so much range on this dude. He used to be a stand-up comedian. He has amazing timing. He's improvised some genius moments. Like, we're just so lucky to be alive at the same time as Michael Keaton, I think. And I don't think he's appreciated as much as a lot of other actors are.
100% agree. I've read so many random articles about things that he has done for the people he works with, and the fact that he just genuinely enjoys not just the craft, but when it's fun.
Yes, yeah.
Like the scrapped Batgirl movie, he just came out and said, "Yeah, it didn't really bother me. It was a paycheck, and I had a really great time doing it. Would do it again."
Yes.
And it's like, man, that's just pretty neat.
And you look, I mean, someone as lauded as like Pacino. Absolutely. Is Godfather one of the best films of all time? Absolutely. His portrayal of Michael Corleone, incredible. One of the tops. But I think Michael Keaton could play Michael Corleone better than Al Pacino. Sorry, I think Michael Keaton could play Michael Corleone better than Al Pacino could play Beetlejuice. I think what Michael Keaton brings to the table, he's a unique talent, and I don't think anyone else can replicate what he's done.
Like a generational unicorn.
Yeah. Brando in Multiplicity? Hard.
Yeah, no, there's no way that you could get Brando as Mr. Mom.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with that, knowing that you love Beetlejuice, I'm, as listeners know, we did Beetlejuice for my birthday last year. We covered the NES game, and it was rough. But as someone who loves Beetlejuice, talking to someone who loves Beetlejuice, let's talk a little bit about how this movie felt. Like, what did you feel about it walking out, and how did you see it?
I saw it in 40X
Oh,
with
jealous.
Hey Real co-host JPC, and one of my best friends, Rob White, who's on the Word Association, and his kids and stuff. So we saw it in a pretty big group. It was like eight or nine people. I think I'll give my overall impression, which is I would say B-, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Did not live up to my expectations. I remember going into seeing. Have you guys seen the Beetlejuice musical?
Yes, I have.
I have not.
I went to the Beetlejuice musical and I was like, this is going to be the worst thing ever. I don't know why they did this, but I would be, I'd be remiss to not see this because I'm such a big fan and I'm just curious. And I walked out of that being like, this was fantastic. I love it so much.
Yeah.
So I think going in thinking I was going to hate it, turned out I loved it. I think with this, I had such high expectations that it couldn't possibly meet or exceed those. So I would say B-. My overall take was, oh dear God, Michael Keaton's still having so much fun. He was tremendous as always. I think. And Justin Theroux was. I thought, holy
Phenomenal.
cow, Justin Theroux is so good. Like the fact that he led the cast of The Leftovers to make that one of the best shows of the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And then also like wrote Tropic Thunder and can comedic act like in Your Highness and in this and Beetlejuice. Fantastic dude. But I thought there's too many storylines. I thought there was these weird moments of like, I guess we'll get into spoiler territory if that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Spoilers abound.
Yes, I'll try and be a little bit vague, but there's like this pretty large storyline of like the Jenna Ortega character falling for this guy and all this stuff. There's this culminating scene where you're like, oh, I think like things are really ramping up, and this bad dude is kind of dispatched, and then the movie just kind of keeps trucking along, and it never really mentions him again. It just felt like they were trying to shoehorn in like 10 different plot lines, and there weren't a lot of maybe enough time spent with each of them or enough consequences due to them. But
Yeah, I agree.
I get that. Both him and I feel like Dolores just didn't really lead anywhere satisfying for me. by the end.
Agreed.
I mean, Monica Bellucci is incredible. Like, absolutely
She is. I
incredible. And she did a great
wanted
job
more
as
of her.
like a presence on screen, but what she had on the page, I felt like wasn't necessarily what she could have easily accomplished.
Yeah. Inspired casting choice, but I think the character just wasn't able to do much.
I didn't even think about the fact that once that antagonist is dispatched, it's just we'll move on. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
We're not gonna worry
Later
about it anymore.
fucker, right?
Yeah, later
Yeah.
fucker. Yeah. Shit out of luck. Yeah, that's what it was. The stamp that said shit out of luck.
Yeah, you mentioned Justin Theroux. I was amazed at how much I enjoyed the new characters. Usually in a sequel like this, you kind of just put up with them,
Yeah.
and then you enjoy the returning cast. But both him and Willem Dafoe, just hysterical.
Brandon,
I
you gotta
loved
keep
Wolf
it
Jackson.
real. You gotta keep it real. Sorry, I just rewatched it, and I actually enjoyed it quite a bit more the second time around because I wasn't just drawn in by every line of dialogue. I was actually able to pay attention a little bit more to the world that they were attempting to build, because I think that's what they did with this sequel. Instead of focusing entirely on the Dietzes and the Maitlands, they focused on Winter River and the afterlife, trying to do like a world building almost film to give you a little bit more depth as to what happens when you die and what happens when you're alive, and how honestly they're very, very similar. I just 100% on the secondary characters and watching how everything kind of just interacts. I think a strong B is probably where I fall on this one as well, and a lot of it
same.
is because of how surprising some of the supporting cast was, and these new characters that, I mean, you can't really replace Otho. And then you get Justin Theroux, who is absolutely batshit insane.
Yeah, so good. With didn't he have like a ponytail or something?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, a little.
He did have a ponytail.
So good. So good.
insane. No, he's so thoughtful. He was helpfully getting some boxes in town when he heard Delia screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Just like,
Man, Catherine O'Hara hasn't lost a step.
amazing.
Not
She,
a single moment. Incredible.
yeah. Obviously, very recently in Schitt's Creek, but I feel like she should be popping up. It might be something where she's like, "Oh, I want to spend time with my family. I don't want to do as much." But I feel like she should be in like 5 films a year or something.
Oh, yeah. She should be everywhere.
Agreed. So another thing that amazed me about the movie, like, I don't know, like her coming back, like she is still the same character, but kind of endearing almost in so many ways, more so than in the original, I think.
Yeah, I think because of obviously they had 30, 40 years of audience feedback and the knowledge of the success of everything. So I feel like in the original, she was meant to be like kind of insane and very annoying and very, this sort of like artiste, big city artiste trust fund, whatever. And I feel like the audiences loved her. So they're like, oh, great. Like we can just give her more of the same and the audience will be, there's already this sort of like connection, this sort of emotional tethering to the character.
Yeah.
So I feel like they didn't have to do much and they knew that we were going to love her character and just toss her some hilarious moments and lines.
Yeah, give her anything, honestly. Anything at all. And
Anything except snakes.
yeah, no
Don't
snakes.
give her snakes.
So there's actually a little tidbit, a little precursor to Trivia Corner later on. Apparently, when Tim Burton came to her and said the whole "we're doing a sequel" thing, her first reaction was, if Charles is dead, Delia should commit suicide because she loves him that much.
Wow, that's cool.
Like, she cannot imagine a world without Charles in it. And then they
Was
talked
this
about
before
it.
was this before or after the reveal of the actor's proclivities?
So the actor's proclivities were revealed in like 2002.
Okay.
So after, I think she was focusing on the characterization more than the actor himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, she said I would think that Delia would kill herself. And then they talked back and forth and are like, don't you think it'd be funnier if she got scammed by art? And they just had it do that. And it mirrors the fact that whenever Beetlejuice was going to marry Lydia in the first one, he hands Charles 2 copperheads.
Yeah. I really enjoyed what they did with Charles, like the claymation segment.
So
I
good.
thought that was
Same.
fantastic. I feel like ever since, I'm sure other movies have done it beforehand, but I just can't think of it off the top of my head. But I feel like ever since I saw I can't remember if it was the first or second Kill Bill, but they go to Lucy Liu's like backstory and it's all like anime.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, more movies should do that, where it's like you can switch formats and have some fun. And I always thought that was such a brilliant move. And I was really glad to see them handle it in that manner, where it's like we can see Charles without casting Jeffrey Jones and having that awkwardness on set and everything. So I thought it was really well done.
And I mean, this movie, and one of the reasons that it ranks pretty highly for me as I rewatched it, it is chock full of pastiche. Like it is so many different genres and art styles. It's like Tim Burton is just given a sandbox and is like, hey, you like this art style? You like this director? You like this era of cinema? Have fun. Go for it. Go ahead and do a full-on Italian dramedy.
Sandbox, or I think, no, it's a moon of Saturn. Do I have that right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's where the sand is.
Even the Monica Bellucci, where like they go back in time,
Yeah.
to show 1600s. I can't remember when it was.
It was a Black Plague.
Yes, where Beetlejuice was like a grave robber. Even that was like so stylized and fun, and yeah. As an audience member, I didn't understand like Monica Bellucci's character poisons Beetlejuice, but then Beetlejuice like hacks her up into pieces, and she's furious. I just don't understand. Like, if you kill someone and then they kill you before they die, I just don't understand that, like, this isn't fair. I don't know.
That whole sequence of her death, and I guess his death as well, like, the assumption is after she poisons him, he kills her and then he dies. Assumedly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Man, that's gotta be some real bad poison. Like, come on, Monica Bellucci, you're the head of what seems to be a demonic immortality seeking death cult, like you could afford a better poison.
Yeah.
I did not entirely understand how that worked, but man, seeing Michael Keaton de-aged down a little bit and just being a jovial grave robbing husband who wants to bite the head off a chicken and sacrifice a goat was delightful.
Yeah, it might not add up, but then again, it did hit for me just because it was so much fun. And if you had told me going in, like, oh, we have a Beetlejuice origin story, I would have been so disinterested. I usually am in those kinds of prequels, but it hit for me.
Yeah, it was very cool.
It was fun.
I do want to mention, and I do want to ask a question, and it kind of goes into spoiler territory, but I've been thinking about this question since I watched it the first time. If you became a ghost in high school, what would your bedroom have looked like? Because mine would not be as cool as his.
Yeah. Oh man, let me try and think. Yeah, pretty tiny slanted roof, like an angled roof where it eats up a lot of headroom in my in the space. What poster? I had a Goodfellas poster up, which is besides like Klimp's The Kiss, that's about as sort of generic as it gets. A lot of corkboards going on. A lot of
that's neat.
Yeah, a lot of East Bay magazines. Probably some East Bay was like an online athletic wear company. So it's like where
yeah. Okay, I got you. I'm with you now.
So if you wanted like the newest And One shorts or like a You Can't Hang with the Big Dogs Get Off the Porch shirt or something, that or the new Anthony Hardaway foam Nikes, that's where you would get them, is East Bay. So those, I had a lot of those magazines, and also there's some sort of science magazine I had that was I had a lot of magazines for some reason, a lot of Maxim and stuff and all that jazz. But I think it would be a pretty small generic room. No real, I don't know if I had any sort of music. A lot of speech and debate trophies going on.
Nice.
Yeah, no big whoop. Not trying to brag. Probably, I don't know, 30 to 45 speech and debate trophies. Probably closer to 45.
Man,
trophies, medals.
So jealous.
Yeah. It was 43 exactly. I just didn't want to. I wanted to be like, I can't remember. It was 43 exactly. What about you guys?
Brando, do you remember?
I know well. It's not that cool. Wall scrolls, too many wall scrolls. I had a pretty neat foil poster of Major Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell, the 1995
So
film.
you were
a lot of anime stuff.
Okay.
You were a full-on mall ninja kid.
No, I didn't have any swords. I wanted the swords. I had the silk button-down shirt that we've talked about that the mall sword ninja kids carried, but I couldn't afford the sword, so I settled with anime VHS tapes. But it was like half anime and half like punk memorabilia.
Wow.
Like local shows, flyers tacked up. So it was like Anti-Flag, Bad Religion, No Effects, and Gundam. So I think if you walked in, you would assume like, oh, this kid wants to overthrow the government and I guess give the country to Japan.
The fact that you said anime, I'm like, whoa. Boy, this guy knows what he's talking about. This is
a guy that's in the know.
Brandon, you have multitudes.
Now, Brandon,
multiplicity.
Thank you.
Nailed it.
I do have to ask this. Have you ever in your life, and I'm so sorry to call you out if you have you ever in your life had somebody where you're like, where you go up to someone and you go like, grab me here, grab my wrist here, no, like grab it tighter and then like turn and then you do like a move on them. Does that make sense? Everyone I knew in high school, college, who was into like martial arts or Japan, at some point at a party would be like, grab my arm here, grab my arm here. And then they try and do some move and they'd be like, wait, hold on. Sorry. No, you're not grabbing right. And I'm like, I'm not grabbing right. And they're like, no, this is a move to like break someone's arm. And I'm like, what? And they're like, so then you do this and you get out of it. And they're like, no, you're doing it wrong. And I'm like, I'm avoiding you breaking my arm wrong. What are you?
I have to say I have not. I didn't ever do the martial arts thing. I was just watching the anime. And, now if it was like, hey, give me your hand, and then I just put a PlayStation controller in it. Like, hey, let's play a video game together. There's more of that.
Big Final Fantasy guy, I assume.
Yeah.
Chrono Trigger,
how
Chrono
about you?
Cross. Yeah.
Oh man, Chrono Trigger. Yeah. Well, do you have a favorite Final Fantasy?
I haven't really played that many. I mean, 7
Okay.
is obviously the one I've played the most, and more specifically the recent remakes. I don't know what you would call them, reimaginings. Those
Yeah.
are incredible. So I very much enjoyed those.
Hell yeah.
But
Yeah,
Casey,
7 for me.
7 is your favorite?
7 got me on the path, but actually
Yeah.
my weird hot take that everyone makes fun of is I love 8.
It's so strange, bud.
Ooh.
It is so
Yeah,
strange.
It hit me in the feels. I was a teenager dealing with unrequited love, and like Squall just spoke to me. What can I say?
Yeah.
He can't speak to you if he doesn't speak, bud.
No, he broods. And I felt the brood. I felt the brooding.
Casey, Hayward Riddle editor extraordinaire Casey Tony is a huge Final Fantasy fan, and he's sent me texts at like 4 a.m. where he'll be like, "Here's the ranking of every Final Fantasy," and I'm like, "Awesome."
Yeah,
And then I tell myself like, I'm gonna play through his ranking, and then time gets away from me.
I was gonna say, unless you have like 350 hours, that's gonna be a hard task.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bo, what was going on in your bedroom?
All right, so I had a black futon that I loved immensely.
Okay.
I had mostly. I also was a punk rock kid, so I had several posters around. But I received a Yasmin Bleeth poster from a cousin for my birthday when I turned 16. That was on the inside of my closet door.
That sounds like a Bloodhound Gang song. Yasmin Bleeth poster from my cousin.
Yeah, that or it's a very early Panic at the Disco song.
Yeah.
I vividly remember my mom and dad brought me back a preserved shark in a jar from a cruise.
Oh, damn.
I don't know why, and it was on my dresser, and it lived there. And then just everything else was video games, VHS tapes, and comic books everywhere.
That's awesome. You just jogged my memory where I did have on my writing desk, I had a coiled up and dried rattlesnake.
Oh, that's cool.
I think it was meant to be a pin hat or something. Sorry, a hat pin.
Oh, interesting.
But my grandma lived in Las Vegas, and she sent it to me as a gift. So it was always sitting on my desk, coiled and ready to strike.
Ready to defend.
Right next to my right next to my hardback copy of I Am Jackie Chan: My Life in Action, Jackie Chan's autobiography.
I liked that book. I also owned that book.
It's an amazing book. It made me despise Sammo Hung.
Uh-huh.
And now I feel the opposite, where I love Sammo Hung, and I think Jackie Chan might be a bit of a piece of
crap.
Piece of shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's not a good scene. It's not a good scene for us right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly Spider-Man comics and Dragonlance Forgotten Realm books, and the occasional Dungeons and Dragons player handbook just strewn in there wherever it could fit.
Nice.
That's what I lived. But just imagining a assumedly 16, 17-year-old kid who's like, yeah, I've been collecting vinyl for like since I was 2. And it's like, man, come on, but where did you get your money?
That's insane.
Some of us come down out of the treehouse, carrying Dostoevsky.
Yeah.
And some of us come down with like a Gundam figurine and Spider-Man comics.
Hello.
Hey.
Do you still have your vinyl collection?
I still have mine, yes.
Is it I have to imagine is it worth like 5 digits? What are we talking?
No,
Six figures?
So my dad still has most of the collection.
Okay.
I inherited a smaller collection that's like mostly Zeppelin. I got some Phil Collins in there, some Journey, just like, 70s, 80s rock or hair metal. And then I've been acquiring some of my more favorite recent albums that I just kind of keep. So I've just got like a pretty decent sized stack that I hang on to. I still have a lot of my comic books, but less of the vinyl.
Now, I used to collect comic books, read comic books. I still do to some degree, but I mostly buy like the compendiums, or the, what do you call it, the trade?
The trades or
trade
graphic
paperbacks.
novels, or however you want to call them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mostly buy those and then give them away or hand them off to someone. But Nightcrawler was my favorite of all time. I love Nightcrawler.
That's a good choice.
Nice.
Well played.
Thank you. Do you like grade them? Because I saw now they have like slabs where they'll like grade a comic.
I've graded 2 comics in my life, and it was to get money from them.
Okay.
And that
makes sense. I mean, if it's
it.
something where you're like, oh, this is valuable. Yeah, that makes sense.
I had like the first appearance of the Venom symbiote. So the first appearance of Spider-Man's black suit, and I sent that in to get graded, and it ended up being worth enough to pay off a couple of bills, which was nice.
That's great. Hell yeah.
And then
You gave me that Kick-Ass number 1.
I did give you that
Christmas,
Kick-Ass
and
number
that
1.
was graded too, right?
Yeah, that one was 9.7, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Good gift.
Yeah, I worked at a comic book store during my grad school stuff and just acquired things
Sure.
over the time.
Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge.
Yeah, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Nobody look under my shirt, please. Yeah, that the bedroom thing. Okay, and this is another question I have to ask because it was another one that got stuck in my head. What song would you want a children's choir to sing at your funeral?
Okay. Boy. Again, this is kind of silly just in terms of like how popular the song is, but I feel like a children's choir version of Aeroplane Over the Sea by Neutral Milk Hotel.
Oh, that would be
probably
incredible.
Not a dry eye in the house, I want to say.
Yeah. That'd be a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
Brando, what do you
Did you
think?
have an answer for this? Oh, me? I brought up Bad Religion. It might be Sorrow by Bad Religion. One of my favorite tracks.
Huh.
I don't know if I know that song.
If I'm yeah, it's not one of their more well-known songs, probably. Yeah, maybe if I wanted to leave people like teary-eyed, maybe Ring Them Bells by Bob Dylan.
Nice.
Oof.
Yeah, it depends on how I want to leave them feeling at the end of the service. How about you, Bo?
I'm leaning toward This Is Gospel by Panic at the Disco. The chorus is if you love me, let me go. And that I feel like that would hit real good. Like that's just a good line to be sung by several 7-year-olds.
Oh yeah. It would also be funny too. I think this is a big song to play at funerals in England, from what I've heard. Eric Idle's Always Look on the Bright Side of Life.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think it would be very funny and quote unquote charming question mark for kids, like children's choir, to be like, life's a piece of shit when you look at it. I think that would be very funny. Like it immediately cut through the tension of the funeral.
It would. That's the right answer, because by the end we're all whistling, and
Yeah.
leave us on a high note.
Oh yeah. I think they said Jim Henson at his funeral had they replicated it in Love Actually, I believe. I believe at Jim Henson's funeral they had All You Need Is Love. Like the Muppets popped up one by one from like the crowd and sang All You Need Is Love during Jim Henson's funeral.
Oh. That's
Which I think
very
is-
good.
Yeah, sounds like sounds like the most magical, beautiful, heartbreaking moment in the history of mankind.
That would crush me. I mean, I am a very, very emotionally, especially soft boy. That would absolutely devastate me.
Yeah, same.
I'm feeling a little devastated just hearing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, should we let's take 10, grab some tea, come back.
Yeah. Put on the Mazzy Star and just get back in the bedroom and
Oh,
that. So I
Mazzy-
wanted to ask y'all.
I say Mazzy
the
Star,
twists.
but oh man, that's so good.
Yeah, I don't actually know.
Oh please, but
It's Anime and Mazzy Star or Anime and Mazzy Star?
sorry, but you were saying
I can
you were
never
saying-
decide. I didn't see the twist coming. Did y'all see the twist coming? It got me. Jeremy.
Oh, okay. I was of 2 minds, but I really want to hear what Adal thinks.
Or
Yeah.
we're talking about the boyfriend twist.
Yeah.
I saw that coming a mile away, and I don't say that in a way of like, I'm so smart. Like typically, I mean, overall, I'm incredibly dumb, and typically I never see things coming. But for whatever reason, I was like, he's dead. Like this kid's dead, or he's another demon or something. And especially when he brought her into his house, and we saw like the back of his mom and dad, I was like, they're dead, or they're like illusions or something. Like they're not real, or they're his little spirits doing his bidding or something. So
Yeah, I definitely thought the parents were dead. When she first met him, when she hit the tree, I thought she was dead for a second. And that's why she could see him.
That would have been fun.
Like the near-death experience, like super activating your ability to see ghosts. I thought that would be a really good kick.
Yeah, that's a fantastic device for the film. And even if she had died and they had to like go get her, where it's like she wasn't supposed to, wasn't supposed to die. What the fuck is that? But if they're like, no, that she's too young, too soon, and they're like, well, family friend Beetlejuice could go get her. I think that would have been if it turns into almost like a heist movie, like we got to bust Jenny Ortega out of hell or something. That would have been fun. Not that this movie wasn't fun, but I think it needed to be a little more streamlined and focus. What made the first one so fun was like, it's just BJ versus the family. Like, yeah, there's these small other plots going on, but it's mostly in the house. It's mostly trying to figure out what exactly is going on, and the audience is learning along with the characters. But this one just felt too heavy, too burdened.
Just the idea of Beetlejuice being in front of all those shrinkers and being like, I got to make a crew. All right, Bob, you're our wheel man. Alan, you're the muscle. Bill, I need you to squeeze into this suitcase. Be so good.
That would have been great.
I'm actually with Adal on this one. There were two things that threw me off and just made me go, am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong. I could be wrong. It was when he opened the door to the house, so he like physically interacted with something.
Yeah.
That fucked with me a little bit. And when he changed clothes, because the Maitlands never changed clothes. And then I thought about it after the fact, and my wife, Kaylin, bless her for being so patient, informed me the fact that Bob changed clothes. Beetlejuice can change clothes. Monica Bellucci steals that wedding dress from old dude and puts it on. Why can't Jeremy change clothes? But
yeah, the Maitlands were simple folk. They don't do a whole lot of.
I mean, they wanted a staycation
choices.
And to work on a model and do some wallpapering. That's all.
They quote unquote changed into the wedding outfits, but that's because they were summoned into them. So yeah, it doesn't really count, I guess.
I don't know if you meant to do this, but that is a very, very good segue to a question I had. What do we think their loophole was? I have an idea, but I wanted to hear what you guys thought.
Sorry, who's loophole?
The Maitlands, how they were able to go to the great beyond despite being haunts or spooks.
Yes. I haven't really thought about it. I'm not sure. Did you have a theory?
I do have a theory.
Okay.
Because Otho summoned them for exorcism, he basically clipped their tie to both the mortal realm as well as being ghosts stuck in that house. Like they were basically re-killed.
Yeah.
And so they were not necessarily stuck in the same place that they were.
I like that.
Yeah, good theory.
That was the only thing I could think of. But I mean, Gina Davis still showed up in the movie, so it's fine.
Wait, she was in the new one?
Yeah. She was one of the wedding guests.
What the fuck?
I didn't see that.
Do they linger on her, or is it like...
It's very passing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Cool Easter egg. I had no idea.
What a beautiful, incredible human being. Gina Davis seems like the coolest, nicest, most talented human. And didn't she like train for the Olympics and she almost made it to the Olympics for archery?
Archery, or I wasn't sure if it was archery or fencing.
I think it was archery. I think she picked up archery and she's like, let me do this to like relax myself. And then like 2 years later, they're like, you're one place away from making the Olympics.
I find it amazing that Dr. Dre is following the same road as Gina Davis.
In what way?
He's trying to become an Olympic archer.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very fun. It's very fun.
Wow. Okay.
What a hoot.
It's weird to say you're setting out for that because Gina Davis never did that. Gina Davis would never.
No, she would never be so presumptuous.
Yeah.
She was just like, I found a hobby I really enjoy. Oh, turns out I'm good at it. Neat.
Yeah.
Pirates of Penzance. What?
Kevin Kline. I don't think I'm rooting for Dr. Dre in that regard.
No.
I wish him well in everything else. Not that you can't step outside your success or comfort zone, but I just that just seems too weird.
A very strange choice to move to.
Yeah. Now I'd love to see Snoop Dogg compete in any Olympic event.
He would just make it shine.
Yes, him at this year's Olympics was such a highlight, and it was so fun to see everyone like be super giddy over. It just felt so fun to have him there. So if he wanted to do something, I would root my tits off for him.
Absolutely. It'd be fucking incredible. And Martha Stewart would be there on the sidelines. She would be his corner coach for boxing or something.
Oh yeah, and she'd have a whole line of like hand towels to wipe his, like a whole Olympic sweat package.
The most extravagant boxing sweat towels the world has ever seen, monogrammed with just SD and a little cannabis right next to the monogram.
It kind of looks like the rings, but it's in its own little.
Yeah, it's its own thing. Did you guys have any like Easter eggs that just caught you off guard? Anything that just filled you with a sudden jolt of joy?
I will say watching it in 4DX, if any of your listeners haven't heard of 4DX or experienced 4DX, it is like being on a roller coaster and during the entire movie. Some movies are more severe than others. So like I saw Twisters in 4DX and I saw the newest Mission Impossible. I forget if that's 6 or 7. I saw that in 4DX. And that is like if somebody turns a key in a door, the whole like you get it's like you're on a bucking bronco when somebody turns a key in a door, or a character will sneeze and you get a concussion. Like you get
someone sneezes and you get whiplash.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like that severe. It's legit like being on like a Universal Studios ride. So I will say it is hard to scan the screen for like little nuggets or Easter eggs or anything like that when you're on a roller coaster. But I'm excited to watch the movie again at home and notice it. The only thing I have to offer, and I don't know if this is fun or it might be well known, but the song MacArthur Park, someone left the cake out in the rain, which I had previously only known due to Weird Al Yankovic singing it as someone let T-Rex out of his cage, the Jurassic Park version.
Yep.
That song was sung in the 60s or 70s by Richard Harris, who was Dumbledore in the first couple Harry Potter movies, and beyond that, obviously a very lauded and well-respected stage and screen actor. But I thought that was fascinating. I did not know that until after I saw the movie that Richard Harris sings MacArthur Park.
I saw that name. Like,
I did not know that.
Yeah, I saw the name Under MacArthur Park performed by Richard Harris, and I was like, no. There's no way. There's no way. Absolutely. Yeah. And then I looked it up, and it's like, no, it is. It is. That dude can do fucking everything. It's incredible.
Wow. I don't know if it's not an Easter egg. I just love seeing Danny DeVito.
Oh, that was great.
Basically just playing a dead Frank.
Doing his best in a proud lineage of Danny DeVito, just guttural, gurgling, phlegmy sounds. Harkening all the way back to, I think, Batman Returns. That's the earliest one I remember.
Oh, yeah.
Just a Burton classic.
Yeah.
At least my nose isn't gushing blood. Nose gushing blood. It is funny that Danny DeVito is one of those people where it's like they first introduce him as like mopping maybe, and it's just his back, and it's a pretty long shot where he's way down the tunnel, but there's no doubt. You're just like, yep, Danny DeVito. That's Danny DeVito. There's no like, is that Danny DeVito? Your brain is just like, got him. We got him.
Mm-hmm.
Just a dude listening to Margaritaville on repeat, just having a great old time.
I know when they first were creating Beetlejuice that they meant for him to be, for the titular Beetlejuice, to be a squat Middle Eastern man. And then they eventually changed that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if if
not know
Danny
that.
DeVito would have played that because he can at times look ethnically ambiguous, or if they would have went with Tony Shalhoub as Beetlejuice or something. The Lebanese Robert De Niro, Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah, we just experienced some Tony Shalhoub recently
Ooh,
with the film 13 Ghosts.
oh, great movie.
Yeah, I thought so.
Well,
take.
great in that it's like fun and oh, cool, okay, not up there with it's not 8.5. Let's say that.
Yeah. just
8.5 ghosts though.
Yeah. I was trying to think of another.
Too many ghosts.
I was like, what's a number movie that's really well respected? And I'm like, 8.5. That's the only one I can think of.
Brandon, when he said, yeah, that's a fun movie, your face created a rictus of a smile that I've never seen on a human man.
I got the door just sliced me in half, and I just got frozen in time. Yeah.
Oh, it's very good. Oh.
So you're a trivia guy. You were talking about Easter eggs. Do you have some trivia?
I am so glad you
Easter eggs
asked.
from the movie?
I will invite the
yeah.
two of you to get comfortable, grab a beanbag chair, and jump into Bo's Trivia Corner for a second.
I know stuff.
We're going to start off. Most of the trivia I found, and it made me feel this is the most wholesome trivia corner I think I'll ever do, because it's mostly people just talking about how much they wanted to fucking do this movie.
Oh, that's great.
Winona Ryder, when she first met the Duffer Brothers for Stranger Things, had one stipulation in her contract, and that was if they decided to do a Beetlejuice sequel, she could take time off to make it.
That rules. She's great. Didn't she have am I making this up? Did she have a 20-year period where nobody would cast her because she once stole a $20 t-shirt from a store or something?
Yeah, she did some weird shoplifting stuff.
Yeah.
3 times maybe. Just put a shirt on over a shirt and walked out of a store with it.
In the grand scheme of things, one of the most tame events of a celebrity's life. That's
Easily. If that's what
She
you're
did
in
not
trouble
deserve
for,
that, yeah.
you're doing
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Do you remember the days when those were the celebrity scandals?
Yeah.
Takes
Yes.
me
Yeah.
back.
Well, I was talking about this the other day where it's and also nonstop on Hey Riddle Riddle, where it's a man's political career ended because he enthusiastically went, yeah!
Yeah!
That was a bullet to the brain of a man's political career forever. And now if you look at the political landscape, you're like, oh my God, how did we come down that hard on him?
I really think if he did that now, it would be an entirely different reaction. That's my text tone for my phone is him screaming.
I gotta steal that bit.
It would have to be just, he would lead the way with a yeah, and it'd be incredible.
They'd bring him to rodeos. He'd cut ribbons for parks and be like, ah, it would be a whole, when, in Star Wars, there'd be an Easter egg, when a TIE fighter went by, it would go, ah, it would be a whole, it would be a whole celebration. Yeah.
Oh, that would be incredible. Sandworm in Dune just surfaces and yeah, it goes back underneath the sand. Oh shit, that was awesome. Another Winona Ryder fact. Apparently, she's been quoted several times that she considers Beetlejuice and Lydia in-game. She thinks that they should end up together. They deserve each other.
Wow, that's weird.
Huh.
Yeah. The crew for this movie even gave her the wedding cake topper after filming as a keepsake. If it never happens, which it probably won't, despite this movie's commercial and critical success, they gave her the cake topper of Beetlejuice and Lydia.
That's so cool. Do we think in another 30, let's say 30 years, do we think they're going to do Beetlejuice, and it's Shia LaBeouf is Beetlejuice's son or something?
Man, I really hope not.
But yes,
Even Kevin Smith,
unfortunately.
you know, when they asked him to do the script for Beetlejuice Goes to Hawaii, he was like, do we really need to do this? The first movie was fucking perfect. We do not need to do this. If they do it, it has to be soon. Keep Keaton, keep Burton.
Yeah.
Keep the cast and have it end, I think.
You got to have it end so that we get that prequel, and it's like Beetlejuice Rising, Revengeance, Origins, Armageddon.
Hell yeah.
You know?
Beetlejuice Episode 1, Phantom of the... Shit. I lost it.
The Juicy Menace?
I lost it, man.
Juices loose?
Yeah, I had nothing. Going back to Batman, if you guys noticed, in Beetlejuice's office, he has a red phone, which was actually a replica of Batman's red phone from Batman, the TV show.
Oh, the TV show.
Yeah. Commissioner Gordon's office had a red phone that would only go to Batman in the TV show. And so they made a replica and put it on Beetlejuice's desk. This is wild, and Brandon, I think you'll remember this company. The Bobs, or the Shrinkers, their design, the costume designer took inspiration from old Century 21 real estate agents. That's what she wanted them to look like.
Outstanding.
Wow.
If they do a prequel, they should have Bob pre-shrunken head.
Absolutely.
Pre-shrunken head, considering
Played by Shia LaBeouf.
Yes, that's what I'm going for. Any excuse to shoehorn that guy into a franchise.
Just give him it. Give him whatever he wants.
I want an Eddie Murphy in like Nutty Professor situation, just Shia LaBeouf in makeup doing
everything.
Everybody. Yeah.
Beetlejuice all of a sudden farts nonstop.
Hercules. Oh, Lord. I only got two more for us, and one that is kind of speculative. Charles's death in the movie, because of Jeffrey Jones's allegations and crimes and things like that in the past, Tim Burton decided to kill him off in a very interesting way, as you guys know. Death by surviving a plane crash and then being eaten by a shark after a plane crash. This is apparently a reoccurring nightmare of Tim Burton's. It is his worst fear.
I will say I relate in terms, I don't know if it's my worst fear, but I am unbelievably afraid of sharks. Like irrationally afraid of sharks, where I'm like, I just think about them nonstop. And anytime my wife is a flight attendant, so we travel quite frequently. And anytime we go on any trip, I'm always like, let's be careful for let's all keep our eyes peeled for sharks. And my wife's like, what are you talking about? Like, we're in Milwaukee, and I'm like, you never know.
The ocean is a wet hell.
Yes, I think the ocean. This is incorrect, but I think the ocean is scarier than space. Or if you get to the bottom of the ocean. Like if you swim through the crack at the bottom of the Marianas Trench or something, I think it goes into space. Like I think you appear in space. I think it's all one big. It's like an MC Escher painting or something.
Adal, I'm right there with you. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
To just back you up in my brain, in my weird cracked hurt brain place. Sharks have killed people. Aliens have not, that we are aware of. We have no proof of an alien killing a person. We've had tons of proof of sharks doing it. So yeah, ocean scarier than space.
Well, let me combine those thoughts.
Oh, God. Alien sharks? Jesus.
Well, I think because I believe that the ocean, I don't really believe this, because I think the ocean, if you go all the way down to the bottom, you come out into space, it works the other way. And I think anytime they find some new creature where it's like, oh, here's like a neon sign with like, with bat fangs, and it has like a corkscrew for a head. And people are like, what is this creature? And they're like, we just discovered it. Like we didn't know it existed on Earth, and we just found it in the Pacific or something. I think that it's not that they're just discovering that. It's not that these creatures were hidden for so long. It's that aliens keep slipping into this crack in space and up in the oceans. And I think sharks were part of that. Here's a fun fact. And fuck the world for this fact. Sharks are older than trees. What? I'll say it again. Sharks are older than trees. Sharks existed before trees did. Get the fuck out of here. I'm supposed to live in the same
World is
world
that?
with these creatures? Get out of here.
Ugh.
They're nature's bullets. They're perfect killing machines. They can't stop? Unbelievable. These things can't stop.
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. Burn it all down.
My
Earth
wife
is done.
My wife loves to snorkel when we go on vacations and stuff, and I struggle so much. Like I saw like a flock of barracuda when I was like 15 years old, and ever since then I've been like head on a swivel, baby.
Also, I want to say very quickly,
Yeah.
the waiting room in Beetlejuice, like the fun waiting room with everybody taking their number, and like you see how they died. Everyone in that room died in like a pretty wild way. Like you don't see a lot of like heart attack. There should be like more heart attacks or something.
Just a normal looking dude who's just like, yeah, man, my cholesterol was way up.
Yeah.
I ate chicken tenders for every meal. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's like if you took if you randomly took 10 people from Earth, from everyone on Earth, you randomly just plucked 10 people to be seated in front of you. It wouldn't be like one jock, one hipster, one cheerleader, one musician. It would be like 10 people who are all just like wearing slacks and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
of varying ethnicities for sure, but they'd all just be wearing like brown shoes, tan slacks with a belt, and like a t-shirt or a polo, and that would be all 10 of them for sure. Those are the odds.
Yeah, you're not gonna get the Breakfast Club. You're just gonna gonna get 10 normal fucking people.
Yes. So when we see that death waiting room, it should be all heart attacks or something of that ilk.
Though I did really like the fact that when Charles goes in there and he's got the top half of himself gone, he sits next to a surfer that got attacked by a shark who has his lower half gone.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, that's pretty cute. They should just match up.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
This almost made me cry, this trivia one. Glenn Shaddix, the guy who played Otho in the first movie, apparently he was so proud of Beetlejuice and the work that they all did together that he requested the Banana Song be played at his funeral.
Whoa.
And it was.
Oh.
And so this was the callback to him, was having it played at Charles's funeral.
Oh.
Like, that's pretty
amazing.
That's really good.
Between that and the Jim Henson, I can't do it. I gotta go.
Yeah. My heart
Honestly,
hurts.
I can't wait to die.
Yeah, let's go.
Cue the Bad Religion.
Yeah, cue the Bad Religion, Panic at the Disco, and Neutral Milk Hotel.
I chimed in. It should be that song. I chimed in with and your casket should be open. I chimed in with, haven't you people ever heard of closing a goddamn door? And then someone slams it shut.
Someone slams it shut. The entire. Yeah, that's awesome.
Amazing.
Last one, I promise.
Yeah.
In the original Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice himself is only on screen for 17 minutes. Because of how I am and how my brain works and stuff, I grabbed a stopwatch for the second time we watched it. He is on screen for 14 minutes and 34 seconds in the second movie.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's it. I mean, give or take probably like 20 seconds, but...
Wait, 1434?
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 is A, 4 is D, 3 is C, 4 is
ADCD. It's
Okay.
almost ACDC.
AC/DC? That's what I want at my funeral.
Hell's Bells.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen? I think it's a TikTok maybe, but it's like the title, the text says like AC/DC's first band meeting, and it's somebody with a guitar going like, one of us should like be the lead singer. Like obviously we need a lead singer, and the other like somebody with drumsticks is like, yeah, one of us has to sing. And then they cut to a third guy with a microphone. He goes, yeah, guys, I don't know who it should be. And it just makes me cry laughing because I'm like, yeah, one of the most insane voices, Bon Scott.
But yeah, that's all the trivia I've got.
That's great. Thank you for that.
There's some other stuff,
great.
but that's most of the really fun stuff that made me feel pretty good about the movie and everyone involved.
Thank you for sharing those because I've I've learned all kinds of fun things, and I can't wait to go back and watch the new one and spot Gina Davis.
Yeah, happy to do it.
Yeah.
Happy to do it.
So we were talking about choices for your funeral.
Yes.
I have a quick game if y'all are down.
Okay. I'm curious. This lead-in is making me very curious.
I call it Beetlejuice. So I'm going to give you 2 options, all themed around Beetlejuice or ghosts in general. You simply choose one. The criteria is totally up to you. Feel free to explain as much or as little as you like. For example, like I might say, Slimer or Casper? In which case you can feel free to
Slimer.
your choice. And
I
Slimer
agree,
all day?
Slimer, totally.
okay.
For sex stuff.
And sex stuff, yeah. You can give the rationale or not, up to you. So we'll just go back and forth a little bit. So Adal, we can start with you. A week-long stay at the Overlook Hotel or a week-long cruise on the ghost ship?
Gotta be Overlook Hotel. I believe that's in Colorado. I've been on cruises, enjoy them, but again, you're in a shark's home basically.
So we're not even worried about the ghosts. We're just thinking about the sharks down below. Or
Not worried
ghost
about
sharks, even worse.
Not worried
Why
about
would
the
you say
ghosts.
ghost sharks, Brandon? Jesus.
Oh no, they can go on land. Not even worried about the ghosts. Not worried about going crazy. Truly, mostly worried about the bear that gives blowjobs.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, you guys have seen The Shining, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because if you haven't, I sound insane.
I'm not gonna lie, it did take me a second. I'm like, wait, ghost ship bear blowjob. What are my?
Yeah, isn't
what
it?
am I
It's a
forgetting?
guy in a bear costume giving somebody
Yeah,
a
yeah,
tub, a blowjob or something.
Bo, I know you're really excited to talk to Adal about, everything. How did the record go? He suddenly talked about a bear giving him a blowjob. I have no idea.
Can't get enough
Should
of
we
that
leave it
sucking
in,
dick.
or- Bo, a giant portrait of Vigo the Carpathian, or that blood-spewing cat painting from House?
Oh. 2 things. 1, pick a dick basket. Has to be said. Feel really good about that as a bear who gives blowjobs. Second,
Hey, my pick a dick basket.
Pick a dick
That's
basket.
fantastic.
and also Vigo the Carpathian, just because it's easier to clean up.
Yeah.
I don't need that blood everywhere.
Mm.
I'll put it in my
I
nursery.
think it
It'll be
makes
fine. My baby will have an old soul.
another. Well, not Bloodhound Gang. That's probably a Ween song. My baby has an old song. My old baby has an old soul, and it's probably like German Oompa. If Ween's discography is to be examined, every single song is a brand new genre.
It's either Ween or Buddy Holly. Like it's either
good call. Yeah,
it's either recent or like in the 40s and 50s.
yeah. I am so embarrassed to say I've never seen House, but it's always recommended to me, and I feel like I should remedy that this fall.
You should.
You will
Tis the
have a
season.
great time.
I'm very
Yes,
excited.
guaranteed.
So I obviously have to go with my man Vigo, but I will say caveat. It needs to come with that guy, the little guy who's like, he is Vigo. Like, I want that guy, and I want him to like announce everyone like, here's Adal's mom. Like, I want him to just like have the mic not the whole time.
That's true. It's a package deal.
Because that guy rules. I love that.
That guy's incredible. Now I have to watch Ghostbusters 2 tonight.
Yeah.
The Scalera brothers. Is that what he says? The ghosts come out.
The
They're still in
Scoleri
electric.
brothers.
That's what it is. I basically said the Sklar brothers, but they come out. They're ghosts in electric chairs somehow.
Yep.
The Scolari brother.
Oh.
Going back to Beetlejuice, the dinner party scene from the original Beetlejuice set to the Righteous Brothers' Unchained Melody,
Ooh.
or the pottery scene from Ghost set to Harry Belafonte's Banana Boat.
Oh man, that's tough. I'm gonna. Oh, sorry. Is this to me first? I kind of jumped the gun there.
No, yes, please.
I'll quickly say I think Ghost set to. I think it's more fun to do the Ghost pottery set to Harry Belafonte. I think that's more chaotic.
I do think it'd be really, really strange to eat a large amount of prawns to Unchained Melody, and I don't know why. For some reason, it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Too sensual.
Just shoving giant scrimps in my face to Unchained Melody.
while Will Ferrell's dad bangs on the drums.
Yeah, while he bangs on the drums.
Similar idea I had. The Nightmare Before Christmas, but the entire soundtrack is re-recorded by Nickelback. Or Beetlejuice, but it's directed by Uwe Boll.
Don't do that.
Sorry, I blacked out after the first one. What was the second one?
Beetlejuice, but it's directed by Uwe Boll.
Who's Uwe Boll?
Oh, Adal.
So you have not been destroyed.
God bless
by
you for
this
not
man's
experiencing this man's work.
Oh, did he
A
direct
pure
The
soul.
Birds? Or not The Birds? What? Sorry, what did he direct?
Blood Rain, the movie, Alone in the Dark, House of the Dead. A lot of video game adaptations that are some of the worst movies we've ever seen, and we've seen some doozies.
Okay.
Maybe not a household name, but it's not a good scene.
He's also
I'll have
just
to-
generally a problematic man.
Is he South African?
German.
Okay. The name I was like sounds.
I think
very
he's
African.
South African, right?
Or maybe it could be German. Yeah.
Who knows?
I would. I mean, how I could never turn my back on Nightmare Before Christmas recorded by Nickelback. That's I'm the clown with the tearaway feet, like that. That would be. That would be incredible.
What's this?
Yeah.
I would definitely check that out.
I am Mr. Oogie Boogie. Yeah, I think the only thing that rivals that would be Nickelback's hit album recorded by like Kids Bop or something. But I think Nickelback re-recording Nightmare Before Christmas is just a gift to the world. Thank you for that. That's my choice, and thank you for that gift.
Being exorcised by John Constantine or by being exorcised by John Cena.
I'll go second on this if you have a.
Yeah, John Constantine's a chain smoker. Like, he's not gonna make me do a lot of cardio.
Oh, I was trying to. That's why I kind of fucked it up. Trying to emphasize exorcised.
Oh, okay. I
Or
thought you
exercised.
switched them. So John Cena was gonna summon a demon out of my body, and
John
John Constantine was gonna make sure that I got abs.
We can workshop it.
Yeah, sure. In that case, John Cena seems like a genuinely good dude. I wouldn't mind hanging out with him, doing cardio and shit. I'm not an in shape man. It won't last long, but I'll hang out for 10 minutes, 12 on a good day.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. I think John Cena is. I don't know how to articulate this. He is one of the most observable people on the planet. By that I mean I could just. You can't see me. By that I mean I could stare at this dude all day. Like, he's just so fun to look at. Where you're like, look how big he is, and like, look at this big old head, and he's like so funny and weird and charming. Like, he's just so observable. Like, you just, when I look at him, like, especially what was the the superhero show he did,
Peacemaker
was so watchable in terms of like, look how huge he is. And like, when he has to do fight scenes, obviously we've seen him in the ring wrestle and stuff, but he's so big, and when he moves, it's just fascinating to watch someone of that size move to any degree. It's fast or slow.
It's elemental in nature. Like, you don't expect a boulder to get up and walk around and punch someone in the mouth.
Yeah. I liken it to like, if you're in the woods or something, and suddenly a beautiful gray wolf comes out of the woods, and everyone's just like, oh, wolf, 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 wolf. And you're just like, you just watch it. It's one of those things where it's like, you watch it until it goes away, right? Like, if a deer comes in the yard, you're like, oh, deer. But then at some point you're like, the rice is burning. Like, goodbye, deer. With Wolf and with I'm making no sense right now. With a wolf and with John Cena, I will watch it until it goes back to the forest.
That was beautifully said.
It was.
One of God's most majestic creatures, John Cena.
John Cena, a poem written by Lisa Frank.
Yes, he should fight animals. We should have him. If he agrees, I feel like we should put him in different tanks with varying degrees of animals.
I want to see a Lisa Frank Trapper Keeper with John Cena in place of the gray wolf. The beautiful, like, bright colors behind him.
Yeah, riding a dolphin or something.
Adal, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Before we let you go, I just have two quick things. One is, where can people find you?
Oh, yeah. Very quickly, let me say, holy cow, thank you guys so much for having me and for being so kind and welcoming and generous. This has truly been a blast, and I really appreciate just how warm you both have been. Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
I feel the same. Thank you so much.
The pleasure is all mine, please. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Adal Rifai, ADALRIFAI. And you can check out the aforementioned podcast, Hello from the Magic Tavern, Hey Riddle Riddle, The Word Association. And then Hello from the Magic Tavern and Hey Riddle Riddle both have Patreons. So if you check out some episodes and you enjoy what you hear, you can check out our Patreons, which are fairly different, but hopefully still the same dynamic.
As a member of the Clue Crew and Review Crew, I do recommend you go that route immediately. It's
Thank you so
well
much.
worth it. And something that we talk about often is, what are you sourcing right now? Is there something that you're taking in media-wise that has kind of affected you that you didn't expect it to recently? A TV show, a board game, a book, or a song?
Ooh, yeah. I've been listening to, while I get work done around the house, I've been listening to a lot of, and this is a band I was obsessed with in college and then kind of fell off of, Godspeed You Black Emperor.
Hell yeah.
There's sort of a almost like Explosions in the Sky, or not Sigur Rós, because they do have words even though they're made up. Godspeed You Black Emperor is just like noise, like it's not noise, but it's a wordless, lyricless band, and specifically the album Lift Your Skinny Fist to the Sky Like Antenna. That album was just so good to like put on and like zone out and just kind of get stuff done. It's so good. And even I'll even, since I mentioned them, mention Explosions in the Sky. If you never put on an Explosions in the Sky album and just kind of like floated away, do yourself a favor and pop that in your next road trip or the next time you take an edible or whatever it might be. They're fantastic.
Good recommendations. The Old Flag Blues, I think it's called. That used to be my shit.
Oh
I
yeah.
haven't listened to them in like a decade. I gotta get back to it.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
To our listeners, happy Halloween. Enjoy spooking and going nuts and your costumes and handing out candy or eating, drinking, whatever you want to do. Have a zombie or Mai Tai on me. You can contact us via our email, sourcenotfoundpod@gmail.com, through our various social medias at Source Not Found Podcast, our Patreon. Check it out. Always got good stuff. And this month, our patrons sent in their own childhood ghost stories that we got to discuss online. I will never go caving again.
Wow.
Ever.
Or just in the woods.
Never.
I scared myself with my tail.
I am still having nightmares. It fucking sucks, dude. I don't like it at all.
You can also check us out on YouTube.
Yeah,
for
we're on
episodes of the show archived, and my playthroughs for all the games we cover. I stream them live on Twitch, twitch.tv/LeJuneBug, link down in the show notes. Spooky season's done, so
yeah,
heading on to whatever comes next.
We're getting into some November. Exciting. And lastly, both to our listeners and to Adal, a gracious thank you. And don't forget to check your toilets for clowns and watch out for those white vans with Freddy Krueger in them.
And sharks are older than trees, sharks are older than trees. Say that out loud.
Sharks are older than trees. Watch out for, oh my God, check your toilet for ghost sharks.
I'll never poop again.